On this episode of One Man, One Hand, and No Real Plan, we get tubular with our lower control arm.
Yeah! Totally tubular, dude.
One of the first things we need to do is get the fender off so we can actually see what we're doing. I'd already put these tubular uppers on. These are brand new rotors. They've been on here for 10 years, but they don't have a single mile on them. It's brand new all the way through except for the lower A-arms. This is, of course, brand new. I mean, it's all brand new. It's just 10 years old at this point. Drop spindle. I think it's DJM. I don't remember. I guess that dust shield's old, but I did paint it at one time. But my plan is to get that on, and then I'm going to put a different set of ball joints on. Mainly, I'm going to put these taller ball joints on because I want it to handle as good as possible. And this, as you can see right now, it's drooping because there's no load, like it's not on the ground. But the more parallel the top and lower A-arms are with the ground, the better it will handle when you go around corners. And so my plan is to get the different set of ball joints because it raises the relation. It doesn't change the orientation of these two arms. They're always moving in parallel together, the upper and lower A-arm. But what it does is instead of them being down like this, they're going to be more like this in relationship to the ground, which helps them handle corners. So I want to get the lower A-arm switched, and I want to get the different ball joints on. Now my lower A-arms are from UMI Performance, and it's been so long since I put the upper ones on. I think they're UMI Performance as well, but I could be wrong on that. I simply don't remember. But step one, I think, is going to be figuring out which one goes on which side. Since it's an S10, we got to put a sleeve inside the bushings in order to be able to have the right diameter. And the reason for this is these are G-body. The 1978 through 1988, I think, GM G-body car, they all share the same components, or the components work on both an S10, like the 82 through 2003 S10s, as well as the 78 through 88 GM bodies. And a lot of times you can find parts for a G-body that you can't find for an S10 that are more performance oriented, especially if you wanted to drag race. Honestly, I want it to handle well as it goes around corners and during normal driving conditions. I don't plan to race it by any means, but I want it to perform and drive nicely. Not so much. I love my S10, my old one, but I don't want it to drive like an S10. I'd rather it drive closer to just like a nice handling and driving car. If you've ever been in an S10, I used to make fun of my old S10 because there's this one on-ramp I'd go to get onto the interstate, and you'd make this big corner like this. You'd be turning right, and you would have to lean like this in order to make the corner because the truck leans so far up. And that was with shocks, so don't make fun of that. It just did not handle. S10s are not great handling vehicles. They are amazing, and I miss my truck every day. Now, loosen and remove front sway bar end links, outer tie rod from spindle, loosen and remove shock bolts. Well, I have never put the shocks in, so joke's on them. They're sitting up there in boxes. Not a very big fan of that sticker. There. I need to clean that up a little bit. At least it ain't got that. Nothing against their sticker or them. I just don't like it on my things. Much better. A little classier. I don't like a lot of stickers. Okay. So this doodad goes on here, but I gotta take everything off in front of it. Fair enough. So I'm going to loosen this castle nut. There's also a castle nut right here for this is the spindle. This is actually a drop spindle. It's 2 inches lower. And what I'm doing is loosening the upper A-arm and lower A-arm are bolted with these castle nuts. And this is a lower ball joint, and that ball joint goes up in there, and then you have to loosen it off so you can take some of the tension off of that spring in there, because this is your coil spring, and it's got a lot of pressure, and it may try and kill you. But I'm going to loosen this bad boy. That's why you put a jack underneath it too, so it's supported and it won't fall down. Baby steps, baby steps. But you loosen it, and then you try and take all the pressure off of it so you can take it apart without killing everyone within a 10-block radius when this baby goes off.
I need a perimeter as far back as 39th.
A lot of people put chains in these. I don't happen to have a chain. I use ratchet straps for just about everything. Let it come out where the shock is, but this will catch your spring and keep it from launching out. I always have to check because I'm dumb. There we go. Now normally there's cotter pins. I never put cotter pins in because I knew I was going to have to take this apart 100 more times, and I'll put them in at the end. One castle nut. I'm going to come over here and hide behind you guys and let you watch me lower that. Actually, I'm even going to put my safety glasses on. Let's use the whole face shield. We're pretty. There, like I said, guys, I knew it had already been popped, so I wasn't super scared of it. But it's better safe than sorry on this kind of stuff. You definitely don't want to risk it. Now, I do need to take this off. I probably should have done that first, but you know, 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. This is your steering connection. Now, I have a rack.
A hot babe out jogging.
Woo, there was tension. Scared me, scared me.
This guy's got the right idea. He wore the brown pants.
I bet I jumped like a fruitcake in that. There we are. Yay. Now this lower spindle comes off. Hooray! There we go. Now she's out. And that's what that ratchet strap does. Oh, hell. I'm missing a nut on the back of here. I should have tightened that more. I wonder where it is. I wonder. I gotta find one of these babies. Which will be fun. I'm sure it's something special. But onwards and upwards. So now we gotta take these bolts right there out, and then our lower A-arm can come out. Let the frame do the holding. One. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you bigger? Well, of course you are. I had to figure out a way to hold that in. I think we're gonna go with our good friend locking plier. That ought to hold it. It's like a Kenny Rogers song there. Gotta know when to hold them. Ain't this fun? This is where having two hands gets nice, and having one gets to be a pain in the butt. I've seen those fancy two-handed mechanics do this thing. If I had a big enough socket, I would use my impact and be done with it, but I don't. I only have bigger and I only have smaller.
Why did you get it so big?
Hey, that's what she said.
Not gonna lie, 99% of what I work on is SAE, not metric. Although my brother's theory on metrics is all you need is a 10, a 12, and an 8, and you can pretty much disassemble the whole car. I don't think he's that wrong. Now the fun part's going to be figuring out how to get that bolt out of the way, because my power steering's in the way. It's not the same as what it was factory. This is the homemade bracket for the power steering, which is a rack and pinion off of a Mustang. And that bracket is in the way of this bolt going that way. So I got to take that bracket down and take that bolt out. Thank God I made it where I can take it off. Well, son of a biscuit. Steering kaput. Okay. Out. And now, if we're lucky, falls out. Yay! And what we're trying to do is line up the hole in the spindles and this nut. And it needs to go back just a little. And then, knock your camera over. A little tap, tap, tap. You know what? They need that sleeve for this bolt for S10s. So I gotta take it out. So what we gotta do is push this front one out and put the other one in. Yeah. Did I put the wrong one in? Now that'll make some TV. After quite a bit of trial and error and thinking about it, I went and got a coil spring compressor, and we're just gonna do this a safe way because I got pretty teeth. I've been trying to get this coil spring back in there, and the directions say that I'm supposed to pry it in as lifting up. So you're supposed to compress, and look at photo 3. Photo 3. Pry bar jack used to compress spring is right there. A pry bar trying to align everything through and make it go in. There is, yeah, that's nuts. So then we got a spring compressor, and it's telling us that we're supposed to put it on the outside. So I'm gonna throw all that crap to the wind. I'm gonna try something I've heard that people can do, and I've never tried it myself, but we're gonna give her a shot. I'm gonna take the bolts out of the rear. I'm going to drop that spring down, reassemble the spindle to these two so that this is trapped, this is trapped, and then I'm gonna jack up on the back with the spring in there and put the bolts in. I'm very pleased to announce it has arrived! We got a new coil spring compressor set that's supposed to be internal, so we can maybe compress that thing and get her put together. for the upper control arm onto the driver's side. And another surprise, we didn't get the bigger one of these for this side. We only got the one for the driver's side, or the passenger side. Now we got our proper sized one. So I'm going to put this sway bar end link together real quick. Now we're going to connect the anti-sway bar to the driver, or to the passenger side. One of these days I'll get it right. Which is just these bushings with a spacer. Oh, couple drops. You gotta have the cap on the bushing spacer, or bushing I guess, and then the spacer, and then don't fall down. We need another one of these, another spacer, and this guy, which in theory would all fit. Try get that to there. A little bit taller. I'm just trying to weasel that up a little bit so I can lift that up a little and get it. There we go. And then shove that the rest of the way. One more bushing. Another one of our little bushing caps. Then a washer. And our nut. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now I'm not gonna, these are nylock, so I'm not gonna stick them all the way on. I just don't want to lose them. So now all we got left is to get the steering put back on. When I made these brackets, I drilled a little hole and put a tab on there to be able to locate it, and it's very important that it goes back in there. Don't think I forgot about this guy. I'm coming for him. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please feel free to hit the like button, maybe consider subscribing, and if you want, leave a comment below. I try to reply as much as I can, and till the next time, we'll just keep on